Good morning. Jack Daniels Boxers at the Boxers Trainers Channel. And I hope today that we bring y'all some dynamite boxing because that's what we want to do anyway. Breaking news. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, is clamoring for all the smoke and is also reaching for greatness. That is what David Benavidez is about. David Benavidez is one of those boxers that chases greatness, right? And in order for a fighter or a boxer, shout out to Bruce Gas Jazz Boxing, shout out to Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz and more. What's up, brother? Shout out to Drunk Irishman, IRA 19 IRA 94. Shout out to the chat, y'all. That's right. We popping this morning, right? And that's what it's about when it comes to the Boxing Trainers channel. We try to bring the best content in the business as it pertains to boxing. So I know, you know what I mean, that the last week or so, I've been tardy. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna stop giving explanation for why I'm tardy, right? I mean, there is logical explanation for why I sometimes get tardy. And I will say this, that some of it is a part, some of it is frustration because I allow people to plant seeds in my mind that um, are worthy suggestions, but the people that plant these seeds, right, they just be talking, right? And no disrespect intended to nobody, but facts are as they are. Um, Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Okay. Carlos Salute. Carlos Salute. Shout out to the Carlos Salute. But yeah, so I gotta stop, you know what I mean, putting myself in a position where I I'm not doing the things that I really would love doing based on allowing explanation and excuses to interfere with my boxing, right? As I've told y'all many times before, I love boxing, man. I love what I do. So let's get to some boxing, man, and get them lames out your head, right? Because a lot of people, like I said, some people rent space in your head. They do. They just walk around in your head all day, right? And you're thinking about them and how lame they really are, right? But that's just a waste of energy. You know what I mean? When you could be doing what you're supposed to be doing. That goes for everybody, right? That allows people to get in their head, rent space, right? Puts them in a position where they can't get nothing done. You know, and then they turn around and make these excuses for why we allow people to get in our head. Man, the F that. You know what I mean? It's about the Boxers Trainers channel and putting forth the content necessary to get those numbers up, to be monetized, and to bring y'all some worthy content. You know what I mean? So today we're going. That's what we focused on. We focused on bringing some worthy content, and I believe this is some worthy content. Again, the Mexican monster David Benavidez is and has been reaching for greatness. Right? He wants all the smoke. Can't nobody in the business say that David Benavidez is a duck, right? Because David Benavidez actually goes for everybody that's on the left, top tier, excuse me, of boxing in that division, the light heavyweight. Also, before he went to light heavyweight, the super middleweight, right? He wanted all the smoke, right? Canelo Alvarez constantly ducked David Benavidez for years. He never got a chance to fight Canelo Alvarez because Canelo Alvarez constantly, and I can understand that, right? We can take from the fact that Torrance Bud Crawford whooped Canelo Alvarez, that the style of a David Benavidez and a style of Torrance Bud Crawford is just too difficult for Canelo Alvarez. And hey, let's be realistic. Most boxers, right? Those two boxers are very difficult to adjust to, right? You can't continue to find an explanation as far as adjusting in the ring with these types of boxers, right? Because I mean, they put their life in the boxing, man. You know what I mean? And some of them, like Torrance Bill Crawford, just has a natural ability to beat up on people. You know, he has a gift from the creator, right? To simply beat up on people. And that's what he do. Same thing goes for David Benavidez, right? Now David Benavidez has is calling out basically Artur Beterbiev, right? Now the thing that is important to me as far as the world view is concerned, that Artur Beterbiev is one of the toughest boxers in the heavyweight division. I don't. It was said last night on the boxers training on the boxers um that boxer's voice, right? That by one of the fans that uh, Arthur Beterbiev was undefeated. That's not true. Arthur Beterbiev was beat by Bivol. He was beat by Bivol, right? And that blemished his record, but doesn't change the fact that Arthur Arthur Beterbiev is one of the best heavyweights in the business, right? And he seeks greatness through his challenges, how he prepares for his fights, right? The regimen that he entails as far as how he puts his body and his mind together to go in the ring and knock out people. What is he? 21 knockouts, 21 wins, 20 knockouts. Man, right? You have to physically challenge yourself when you have that type of record where you done knocked out 20 people with a 21 um uh record. You've been in the ring 21 times, but you got a margin in the knockout ratio area of 20 knockouts. Hey man, it don't get better. It don't get better when it comes to the light heavyweight division and boxers like Artur Beterbiev, uh, Bevo, uh, David Benavidez. You know what I mean? It just don't get no better because these cats they come to perform. They come to challenge themselves, right, with the boxers that they have before. Don't matter who it is. It don't matter. These records that these dudes have is, I mean, basically all these divisions where they go on 20 and 0, 30 and 0, right? Man, they challenging themselves. Don't let anybody lead y'all to believe because you like that boxer, right? That he gets in the ring with somebody and he whoops him and he constantly continues to whoop him, right? He's challenging himself, man. He's challenging himself to be great. And you have to, you know what I'm saying, like give them credit with his due. And a lot of times, man, we get caught up in our emotions and we don't want to, you know what I'm saying, compliment those facts, right? But the fact of the matter is, if a cat is 30 and 0 and he's in one of those divisions, right, where it demands a rigorous workout. It demands, right, that you respect your body and your mind to the point where what you're telling your body and your mind, that's what you do. And that's how you get to win, right? These cats, David Benavidez and Artur Beterbiev, man, these cats are good boxers, man. And I expect if this fight comes to fruition, right, this is going to be one hell of a fight. But the word on the street, right, is that Arthur Beterbiev will whoop that David Benavidez. Now, I just don't, you know what I'm saying? You know, and I've been pretty accurate with my assessments when it comes to picking up the best champion, the winner, right? I've been pretty good with that. Matter of fact, I'm like, I want to say like 15 and 0. You know what I mean? So it isn't like I don't know what I'm talking about when I pick and choose, right? But I said that to say this. It was someone that said that Artur Beterbiev would knock David Benavidez out. And then let me on the record, Jack Daniels, man, at the Boxers Trainers Channel, thinks and believes it's going to be a long time before somebody whoops David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. Scratch the Mexican monster, man. I mean, David Benavidez, period, right, is one of the best boxers I've seen in a long time, especially in the heavies, in the light heavies and heavyweight divisions, right? he is one of the best boxers that I've seen in a long time, right? And as far as I'm concerned, there's a few things that I believe that he can better prepare himself as far as his defense is concerned, right? But obviously he's getting away with that. You know what I mean? It's certain things that I see as a boxer trainer, right? That I believe that he needs to tighten up again with his defense, right? And hopefully he'll get to that because I see some errors and some possibilities that he could get clocked, right? With his defense, right? But that hasn't happened, and until it does, if it does, right? I'm just saying that David Benavidez is unbeatable. I said it. David Benavidez is unbeatable, man. You know what I'm saying? So let the record reflect. It's on the record that Jack Daniels of the Boxers Trainers Channel is saying that a boxer like David Benavidez, that a boxer like Floyd Mayweather Jr., a boxer like Torrance Wood, them cats is unbeatable, man. You know what I'm saying? Torrance Wood Crawford has stepped back. Now I don't know if that's legitimate or not. I don't know if that's game that Torrance Wood Crawford is preparing himself for a big payday based on the fact that the retirement explanation, right, boosts up the desire for the people that boosts up the desire for the people that want to see David Benavidez or a Torrance Wood Crawford after they say they retire, come back to the ring, right? So I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical about that because Torrance Wood Crawford is a strategic dude in his thought process and in the ring. You know, so you really can't say based on the fact that Torrance Wood Crawford said he's retired. I mean, I would hope that he would, you know what I'm saying, that he would go out of it, go out in his career with retirement at this stage because he did everything he intended to do and more, right? But sometimes when you in the boxing like these dudes, David Benavidez or Torrance Wood Crawford, I know y'all know. I mean, I know there's those going to say, "Oh, what the hell did you throw him in there?" And the Devin Haney's, the Dream Haney's, right? Man, them cats got something to prove. They still got something to prove. And I'm saying that I don't want to, you know, lead people to believe that I think that that Torrance Wood Crawford is just retired. Because there's an exclamation mark as far as I'm concerned with Torrance Wood Crawford and his retirement. That being said, look, man, I'm trying to bring forth better content. You heard me? As you can see, right? I did a lot of work for y'all. This ain't for me. Yeah, well, I guess it is for me too. It's for me too, y'all. At least I perpetrated fraud, right? But I did a lot of, you know what I'm saying, work on my. I picked that up in New York. Now that is something else. Where you get that? I picked that up in New York, right? And I thought it'd be a nice, you know what I mean, look, because that's what it's about. Really, it's about the dollar bills too. You know that everybody already know that it's about them dollar bills too, right? Bruce, Gas, Jazz, and more. Shout out to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? For looking out, Shout out to you. But I'm set up. Got this. This is stuff that I picked up in California for my we had to bury my my wife's last auntie. You know what I'm saying? She was like 94. And she literally, we was in New York. She literally waited us to get to California before she passed. Every indication leads us to believe that's what she did. Good old country girl, right? But sharp and in her younger day was fine as hell, right? But she passed away. I love her to death. Love her to death. Anyway, man, we're gonna try to get. No, we're not gonna try. We're gonna get better boxing content for y'all, man. For those, especially for those that's sticking around and laboring with the old man. That being said, man, hit that subscription button. It don't cost a penny. Hit that subscription button. It don't cost a penny. Hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. And let me know if y'all think that David Benavidez is unbeatable. That's what I think. That being said, I'll see you later, man.